In our fast-paced world, filled with endless demands and silent pressures, have you ever stopped to ask yourself, where am I going? What is the purpose of all this? Have you ever felt an emptiness creeping in? A profound loneliness that exists even when you are surrounded by people? This isn't just a fleeting feeling. It's a reality faced by millions. It's like living in a beautiful house with no light, or having a healthy body with a hollow soul. This kind of pain doesn't leave a visible wound or a scar you can point to. It's an invisible weight, a silent sigh in the dead of night, an unease that always lingers, a fatigue that even sleep cannot cure. You have tried to find comfort in your work, in relationships, and even in temporary pleasures. But when it all fades, the feeling of emptiness returns, often stronger than before. It's like trying to fill a bottomless cup. The more you pour in, the emptier it becomes. This pain can manifest in countless ways. It might be the feeling of being lost when you can't find meaning in your job, or the helplessness of not being able to truly connect with your loved ones. It's the fear of facing the future and the disappointment of looking back at the past. All these emotions, compressed together, create an invisible wound in the soul, making you yearn for a real escape, a true way out. And it is at this very moment that you begin to search for a place to find solace, something that can finally fill that void. In this pursuit of a remedy for the soul, many of us have tried everything else before we turn to the one place that holds all the answers. The Gospel of John isn't just an ancient text. It's a living guide, a spiritual balm for the modern mind, and a profound answer to the question of our existence. This is not about religion. It's about a relationship with the source of true peace. It's about understanding that what you're searching for isn't an external fix, but an internal revelation. This journey to heal with the Gospel of John begins with a fundamental truth: the Word. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. John 1:1. This isn't just a historical statement. It's a spiritual principle. It tells us that before anything else existed, there was communication, there was truth, and there was divine love. In a world full of noise and distractions, we have forgotten how to listen. We are constantly barraged by information, by opinions, by demands on our time and attention. But this verse calls us to a different kind of listening. It invites us to tune out the static and tune into a voice that is eternal, unchanging, and full of life. The Gospel of John is a book of deep symbolism and profound meaning. It speaks of light and darkness, of truth and falsehood, of life and death. Jesus introduces himself as the light of the world, and his words promise to guide us out of the darkness of our own making. When we feel lost, confused, or without direction, it is often because we are living in spiritual darkness. We are operating on our own limited understanding, our own fears and anxieties. But the gospel offers a different path. It offers a light that illuminates not just our surroundings, but the hidden corners of our own hearts. It shows us our own faults and imperfections, not to condemn us, but to give us an opportunity to change, to grow, and to heal. This is a deep dive into the very core of what it means to be human. It's about facing our fears, confronting our doubts, and embracing a love that is unconditional. The stories within the Gospel of John are not just historical accounts. They are parables for our own lives. The man born blind is a metaphor for our spiritual blindness. Lazarus's resurrection is a symbol of our own potential for rebirth and renewal. And Jesus' promise of living water is an answer to our deepest thirst for purpose and meaning. This book is a mirror. As we listen to its words, we see ourselves reflected in its pages. We see our struggles, our triumphs, and our eternal longings. This journey is a commitment, a daily practice of listening and reflecting. It's about carving out a space in your busy life to let the Word of God seep into your soul. It's about allowing the wisdom of the ages to guide your decisions, to mend your brokenness, and to fill the void that nothing else can. So, as we continue on this path, remember that you are not alone. The Word is with you, ready to be a source of strength, comfort, and healing. Our journey begins in the profound silence of John 1 with a statement that transcends time and space. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. John 1:1. This isn't merely a theological concept, it's a foundational truth about existence itself. The Word, a powerful and living force, was present before anything else. In a world defined by noise and chaos, this passage invites us to find our origin point, to connect with the source of all life. It whispers that before there was fear, before there was doubt, there was a perfect and divine order. As we continue, John's writing reveals the profound implications of this truth. All things were made through him, and without him was not anything made that was made. John 1:3. This line reminds us that our bodies, our minds, our very souls were created through the same divine word. When we feel disconnected, sick, or lost, it's often because we have strayed from this original connection. This is not about a physical journey, but a spiritual one, a return to the source of our being. By listening to these words, we are not just hearing a story. We are engaging with the very creative power that formed us. We are allowing that divine energy to begin the process of mending what is broken within us. The Gospel of John also speaks of a light that shines in the darkness, a light that the darkness has not overcome. This is the heart of the message. Our emptiness, our anxiety, our pain, these are all forms of darkness. But John promises us that the light of the Word is stronger. It is an enduring light that cannot be extinguished by any shadow in our lives. As you listen, imagine this light slowly filling the empty spaces within you, pushing back the shadows of fear and doubt. This is not a passive act. It is a conscious decision to let the light in, to receive the grace and truth that came through Jesus Christ. It is an act of hope and an act of faith. Through this narrative, we are offered a profound insight. The Word became flesh and lived among us. John 1:14. This simple statement bridges the gap between the divine and the human. It means that this powerful, creative Word is not a distant, inaccessible force. It is intimate, personal, and tangible. It walked among us, felt what we feel, and understood our pain. This is why the Gospel of John is so deeply healing. It is a story of a God who is not far away, but is right here with us, sharing our burdens and guiding us toward peace. This is the truth that will not only fill the void, but also transform your life from the inside out. Our journey through the Gospel of John now leads us to the heart of its healing power, the stories of Jesus' miracles and encounters. These aren't just historical events. They are profound metaphors for our own struggles. When you feel trapped in a personal abyss, when it seems every door is closed and every hope has vanished, these narratives become a lifeline. They are a testament to the fact that divine intervention is not a relic of the past, but a timeless possibility. Consider the story of the man born blind, John 9. For him, life was a permanent state of darkness, a condition he had known since birth. He was not only physically blind, but also socially isolated, a burden to his family, and a subject of theological debate. But Jesus saw him not as a problem, but as an opportunity for grace. By simply anointing his eyes with mud and instructing him to wash in the pool of Siloam, Jesus restored his sight. This story speaks to the part of us that feels permanently broken, that believes its wounds are too deep to ever heal. The miracle here is a promise that even our deepest, most persistent darkness can be pierced by light. It tells us that what we see as an insurmountable flaw, God sees as a canvas for His glory. Then there is the resurrection of Lazarus, John 11. This is perhaps the most powerful example of hope in the face of absolute despair. Lazarus had been dead for 4 days. All hope was gone. His sisters, Martha and Mary, were consumed by grief, and the crowds had already mourned him. But Jesus stood at his tomb and commanded him to come out, and Lazarus did. This narrative is a message to every single person who feels that their dreams, their relationships, or their spirit has died. It is a reminder that what we consider final and impossible, God can call back to life. It's a message of ultimate hope, a powerful reassurance that even from the grave of our personal failures and sorrows, new life can emerge. These stories offer more than just comfort. They offer a new way of seeing the world. They teach us that our weaknesses do not define us. Our sorrows do not have the final say. When you feel abandoned by everyone, when you have exhausted every human solution, it is precisely then that you are positioned to receive the greatest miracle of all, the unconditional love and grace of God. By immersing ourselves in these passages, we are not just reading about someone else's healing. We are opening our own hearts to a similar transformation. We are allowing the words of Jesus to speak directly to our wounds, to remind us that we are seen, we are loved, and we are worthy of a miracle. Our journey has shown us that the Gospel of John is a light in the darkness. But how do we access this power directly? The answer lies in the simple yet profound act of prayer. In a world that values loud, public declarations, Jesus teaches us that true power is found in the quiet, intimate conversation with God. This is not about a performance. It is about a relationship. John 14:13 says, "Whatever you ask in my name, this I will do, that the Father may be glorified in the Son." This promise is not a magic spell, but an invitation to trust. It tells us that when our desires align with God's will, our prayers become a powerful force for change. The Gospel of John is filled with examples of this deep personal connection. When Jesus prays before raising Lazarus, he doesn't command God. He thanks him, saying, "Father, I thank you that you have heard me." John 11:41. This shows us a profound truth about prayer. It is not about begging, but about trusting in a Father who already knows our needs and loves us unconditionally. When we pray, we are not trying to convince God of our worthiness. We are simply opening our hearts and allowing His will to work in our lives. This is the ultimate surrender, and it is a path to a peace that surpasses all understanding. Consider the moments in your own life when you have felt most alone. Maybe you've tried to handle every problem yourself, believing you had to be strong and self-sufficient. But the Gospel of John offers a different kind of strength, the strength that comes from surrendering control and allowing a greater power to work in your life. The act of prayer is a declaration that you don't have all the answers. It is an act of humility that opens the door to divine intervention. It allows you to tap into a wisdom far beyond your own, to find solutions to problems that seem impossible, and to discover a well of peace in the midst of life's storms. This is the hidden power of the gospel. It provides not just stories, but a direct pathway to communicate with the divine. The words we are listening to are the very foundation for this connection. So, as we continue, let's not just hear them with our ears, but let's feel them with our hearts. Let's allow them to guide our own prayers, turning our silent fears into whispered hopes and our hidden burdens into open conversations. This is where the true miracle begins. Our journey deep into the Gospel of John now brings us to its most profound and transformative theme: love. This isn't a fleeting, conditional emotion, but a powerful, eternal force that is the very essence of God. The Gospel repeatedly emphasizes this truth, and it is in these passages that we find the ultimate balm for our wounded hearts. John 13:34 states, "A new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another." This is not merely a suggestion, but a fundamental principle for living a healed and purposeful life. The stories of Jesus' compassion are a living testament to this command. Consider his encounter with the woman at the well, John 4. She was an outcast, a Samaritan woman who was viewed with contempt by society. Yet Jesus, in his infinite wisdom and love, engaged her in conversation. He saw her not for her past, but for her potential. He offered her living water that would forever quench her thirst. This story teaches us that God's love reaches beyond all social barriers and personal failings. It is a love that seeks out the broken, the marginalized, and the forgotten, offering them not judgment, but dignity and a path to new life. This divine love is also deeply personal. In John 15:13, Jesus declares, "Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends." This is the ultimate expression of sacrifice, the selfless act of giving everything for the sake of another. While we may never be called to such a grand gesture, This verse invites us to practice this love in our own lives. It's in the small acts of kindness, in the patience we show to a difficult colleague, in the forgiveness we offer to a loved one who has hurt us. Each of these moments is an echo of Christ's love, a practical way to manifest this healing power in our daily reality. By immersing ourselves in these stories, we begin to understand that we are not defined by our shortcomings or the love we have failed to receive. We are defined by the boundless, compassionate love that is being offered to us. When we feel unloved, unappreciated, or unworthy, the Gospel of John reminds us that we are infinitely cherished by a God who gave everything for us. This knowledge is not just comforting, it is a catalyst for change, empowering us to love ourselves and others with the same grace and truth that we have received. It is this unconditional love that has the power to heal every wound and fill every void. Our journey through the Gospel of John is a journey toward liberation, and no principle is more freeing than forgiveness. In a world where grudges are held and past hurts linger, Jesus offers a radical and transformative path. He demonstrates that forgiveness is not a weakness, but the ultimate act of strength, and it is a key to true inner peace. John 8 provides a powerful example of this when a woman caught in adultery is brought before him. The crowd, full of judgment and self-righteousness, is ready to stone her, but Jesus, with unparalleled grace, simply says, "Let him who is without sin among you be the first to throw a stone at her." The crowd, one by one, disperses, and Jesus tells the woman, "Neither do I condemn you. Go, and from now on, sin no more." This story is a mirror for our own lives. We often carry stones of resentment and anger, ready to throw them at those who have wronged us. But Jesus' message is clear. We must first drop our own stones. This act of releasing our grip on bitterness is the first step toward healing. It is not about condoning the wrong committed against us, but about freeing ourselves from the prison of that anger. The truth is, holding on to a grudge is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It only harms us. But the Gospel of John goes deeper. It also teaches us the importance of self-forgiveness. Many of us are our own harshest critics, burdened by past mistakes and personal failures. We punish ourselves endlessly for choices we've made, for words we've said, and for opportunities we've missed. Jesus' example with the woman at the well reminds us that even after a history of mistakes, a new beginning is always possible. Her past did not define her future, and neither should yours. The freedom that comes from knowing you are forgiven by the ultimate authority allows you to forgive yourself. It is the beginning of a fresh start, a chance to live a life unburdened by past regrets. By immersing ourselves in these lessons, we are not just learning a lesson about morality. We are learning how to truly live. We are given the tools to release the heavy chains of bitterness and self-condemnation. The Gospel of John offers a love so complete that it makes forgiveness possible, not just as an idea, but as a practical reality. This is the path to freedom, the release that every heart truly craves. Our journey has highlighted the immense power of faith. But what about when that faith is tested? The Gospel of John doesn't shy away from the reality of doubt and fear. It confronts them head-on, offering a beacon of hope in the midst of life's most brutal storms. The challenges we face, be they financial ruin, a health crisis, or the loss of a loved one, can shake the very foundations of our belief. But these are precisely the moments when our faith can become truly resilient. Think of the story of the disciples caught in a violent storm on the Sea of Galilee, John 6. They were experienced fishermen, accustomed to the unpredictability of the sea. Yet, this storm was so fierce that it terrified them. They were struggling against the elements, a perfect metaphor for our own battles against life's uncontrollable forces. And in the midst of this chaos, they saw Jesus walking on the water, seemingly unfazed. At first, they were filled with fear and disbelief, mistaking him for a ghost. This shows us a crucial truth. In our most challenging moments, what we need most, the very presence of God, can appear so foreign and unbelievable that we fail to recognize it. This narrative is a powerful lesson in trusting the unseen. The disciples had to look beyond their logical understanding and their very real fear to see Jesus for who he was. They had to choose faith over fear. In your own life, when a crisis hits, your mind will be filled with anxiety and a million questions. You will be tempted to rely on your own strength and logic, to try and fix everything yourself. But the Gospel of John encourages you to do the impossible, to look for the divine in the midst of the human chaos, to see the outstretched hand of a God who is not only aware of your struggle, but is actively walking toward you on the very water that threatens to drown you. This is the central teaching of this part of the gospel. It is an invitation to accept that trials are a natural part of the human experience, but they are not the end of the story. They are an opportunity for your faith to deepen, for your trust to be fortified, and for you to witness the extraordinary power of a God who can calm the fiercest storms with a single word. This is where your journey of healing truly becomes a journey of triumph. Our journey through the Gospel of John has led us through light and darkness, through faith and doubt. But now we arrive at the very heart of the Christian story, the passion of Christ, his death, and his resurrection. This is the ultimate narrative of peace found not by avoiding pain, but by transcending it. In a world that teaches us to run from suffering, the Gospel of John offers a revolutionary truth. Our greatest peace can be discovered in the midst of our most profound agony. Consider the moment of the crucifixion. Jesus, the embodiment of the Word, hung on the cross, his body broken, his spirit enduring unimaginable torment. From a human perspective, this was the end, the ultimate defeat. But John's Gospel frames it differently. It presents this moment as an act of ultimate triumph, the pinnacle of love and obedience. In the final moments, Jesus says, "It is finished," John 19:30. This phrase is not a cry of defeat, but a declaration of victory. He has completed his mission. He has faced the greatest pain and has overcome it. This is a profound message for anyone who feels overwhelmed by suffering. It tells us that our pain is not meaningless. It is a part of a larger divine story. It can be a crucible that refines us, a journey that leads us to a deeper understanding of ourselves and our purpose. And then comes the resurrection. The story does not end with death. The third day, the tomb is empty. The disciples, filled with despair and fear, are met with the shocking, joyous news of Jesus' return. This is the ultimate proof that pain does not have the final say. It is the promise that even in the face of death, be it the death of a loved one, the death of a dream, or the death of a part of ourselves, there is always the potential for new life. The resurrection is the ultimate symbol of hope, a reminder that after the darkest of nights, a new dawn will always break. It tells us that our sorrow is temporary, but the joy and renewal that follow are eternal. By immersing ourselves in these chapters, we are not just witnessing a historical event. We are participating in a spiritual reality. We are learning to face our own fears, our own losses, and our own personal crucifixions with courage and faith. We are being taught that the path to true peace is not a detour around suffering, but a straight line through it. It is the peace that comes from knowing that a divine purpose lies beneath all our pain, and that a triumphant new beginning is always waiting for us on the other side. This is the true meaning of healing. It is not the absence of pain, but the presence of an unshakable peace in its midst. We have now reached a pivotal moment in our journey. Our minds have absorbed the truth. Our hearts have been stirred by the stories. But the deepest healing happens when we move from mere understanding to profound immersion. This is why we will now listen to the Gospel of John again, a second time, but with a different intention. This is not a repetition. It is an act of deepening. It is a chance for the Word to move beyond your conscious mind and settle into your very soul. In our fast-paced world, we are conditioned to consume information quickly and move on. But spiritual nourishment requires a different approach. It requires stillness and contemplation. As you listen to these words a second time, I invite you to close your eyes, relax your body, and let your mind drift. Don't try to analyze or remember. Simply let the rhythm of the words wash over you. The first time, you heard a story. This time, you are allowing the story to become a part of you. This technique is used in many forms of meditation and deep rest because it bypasses the logical mind. When your brain recognizes the information for a second time, it doesn't fight it. Instead, it allows it to sink in, to permeate your subconscious. This is where the real work of healing happens. The truths about forgiveness, love, and hope that we discussed are not just concepts. They are forces that can rewrite the blueprint of your heart. By listening again, you are actively inviting them to do so. You are giving your soul permission to receive the grace it has been longing for. So, let us begin this second, more profound listening. Let the words of Jesus, the stories of his compassion, and the promises of his resurrection echo in the quiet places of your mind. Let them soothe your anxieties, mend your brokenness, and fill the emptiness that nothing else could. This is not about being productive. It is about being present. It is about trusting that in the gentle repetition of the word, you will find a peace that is not of this world. As we continue this sacred second pass through the Gospel of John, let's turn our attention to the theme of light and darkness. In John 1:5, it is written, "The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it." This is not just a beautiful metaphor, it is a profound spiritual truth. Your personal darkness, your fears, your regrets, your sense of isolation is not a permanent state. It is a temporary shadow that can be pierced and dispelled by the eternal light of the Word. This time, as you listen, visualize this light. Imagine it as a gentle, warm glow that starts at the core of your being and expands outward. Let it fill the spaces where you felt empty, soothe the places where you felt pain, and bring clarity to the confusion in your mind. The first time, you may have intellectually understood that the darkness cannot overcome the light. This time, allow that truth to become a physical sensation, a felt reality within you. The Gospel also speaks of Jesus as the light of the world. This means that you don't have to search for a vague, abstract light. The light is a person. It is a presence that you can invite into your life. As we continue to read, let the stories of Jesus' miracles, of giving sight to the blind, of turning water into wine, of raising the dead be more than just parables. Let them be personal invitations for a transformation in your own life. Let the light of these stories illuminate your own struggles and show you the way out of them. This re-listening is an act of surrender. You are surrendering your need to control, to understand everything, and to fix everything on your own. You are surrendering to the power of a truth that is far greater than your human comprehension. And in that surrender, you will find a freedom you have never known before. This is the path to welcoming the light into your life, not just as a concept, but as a living, breathing reality. As we continue this second, more profound listening, let us dwell on the heart of the Gospel of John, the theme of love. This is not the conditional love we experience in the world, which is often tied to performance, appearance, or success. This is a divine, transformative love that has the power to heal every wound and fill every void. In John 13:34, Jesus gives a new command: love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. This is a call to action, but it's rooted in a profound gift. The first time you heard this, it may have sounded like a simple instruction. But now, as you listen again, allow the full weight of the phrase, "as I have loved you," to sink in. This is not a human standard. It is a divine standard. Jesus loved with a love that sought out the outcast, welcomed the sinner, and sacrificed for the undeserving. As you listen to the stories of his compassion, like his gentle interaction with the woman at the well, recognize that this same love is being offered to you. This re-listening is an act of receiving, an opportunity to open your heart to a love so perfect that it casts out all fear. This is the antidote to the emotional wounds we carry, the pain of rejection, the bitterness of betrayal, the ache of loneliness. These are all symptoms of a love deficit. But the Gospel of John promises a love that is a living well, never-ending and always available. By allowing these words to wash over you, You are inviting that love to permeate your being. You are giving yourself permission to be fully seen and fully accepted, not based on anything you have done, but simply because you exist. This second pass is an active surrender to this truth. It is about letting go of the need to earn love and simply allowing yourself to be loved. This is where the deepest healing begins, where old scars fade and new life begins to bloom. The word is not just telling you about love, it is embodying it, reaching out to you, and offering a new, complete way to live. Our journey through the Gospel of John has led us to its greatest and most profound moment, the resurrection. This is the ultimate tipping point, the grand promise of the entire Scripture. In our world, we are often conditioned to accept that death is final, that loss is irreversible, and that once a door closes, it may never open again. But the Gospel of John shatters these rules. It shows that even after death, there is always the possibility of new life, a powerful and undeniable resurrection. Allow the story of Jesus' resurrection to sink deep into your soul. After his suffering and death on the cross, his disciples were left in despair. All their hopes were shattered. They had buried him, believing that everything was truly over. But on the third day, the tomb was empty. This event was not merely a miracle. It was a powerful declaration that God's love and life are stronger than any pain, fear, or death we might ever face. As you listen to these words a second time, apply this truth to your own life. What parts of you have died? Perhaps it's a forgotten dream, a broken relationship, or a spirit that has grown weary from failure. The resurrection isn't just a historical event. It's a personal invitation. It invites you to believe that what you thought was finished can be brought back to life. It reminds you that even from the ashes of loss, something new and beautiful can be created. This act, your conscious decision to listen and meditate on this truth, is a step toward your own personal rebirth. It is an acknowledgement that you are not stuck in your past and you are not defined by your failures. It is a hopeful surrender to a higher power, a power that can transform sorrow into strength and despair into joy. This is the ultimate healing, the resurrection of your very soul. After listening to and contemplating the Gospel of John, we have embarked on a powerful journey. From the very first words about the Word, we have discovered that God's Word is the foundation of all life. We have seen that even in the deepest darkness, the light of Jesus always shines, and the darkness can never extinguish it. We have learned that God's compassion has no limits, extending even to those rejected by society, like the woman at the well. We have also understood that forgiveness is the key to liberating ourselves from the burdens of the past, not only for others, but also for ourselves. Through the stories of miracles, we have witnessed the power of faith, a force that can turn the impossible into reality, whether it's healing a blind man or raising the dead. And finally, we have found peace in the midst of pain by contemplating his crucifixion and resurrection. This is the most profound lesson. Life can always spring from death, and hope can always be found in despair. These are the core lessons. the precious gems that the Gospel of John offers. They are not merely ancient stories, but living truths that can transform how you view life, how you face challenges, and how you find inner peace. We have reached the culmination of our journey. The truths we have heard and the lessons we have absorbed are not meant to be kept in isolation. They are meant to be shared, to be lived, and to be a foundation for a new kind of community. The Gospel of John isn't just a book for private contemplation. It is a catalyst for connection, an invitation to build a network of support and shared faith. This is why our journey together cannot end here, but must begin anew with a shared purpose. This is your call to action. It is not a demand, but a sincere invitation to open your heart and become a part of something greater than yourself. I invite you to share this message with someone you know who is struggling, someone who is lost, who feels alone, or who is searching for a peace they cannot find. By sharing this video, you are not just passing along a link, you are extending a hand, offering a lifeline, and giving someone the opportunity to experience the same healing and comfort you have found. Furthermore, I urge you to take this a step further. We have created a space here in the comments section for prayer, for reflection, and for support. This is a safe space where you can leave a silent prayer for a loved one, share a struggle you are facing, or simply offer a word of encouragement to a fellow traveler on this path. Your words matter. Your presence matters. When we lift each other up, we create a ripple effect of grace that can change lives, one comment, one prayer, one act of kindness at a time. This is the ultimate expression of the Gospel's teachings. It is about moving from being a passive listener to an active participant. It is about transforming the lessons we've learned into actions that bring light to others. The healing we have experienced is not meant to be a destination, but a starting point for a life of purpose, connection, and unconditional love. Let us continue this journey together, building a community founded on peace, hope, and faith. Your participation makes this mission possible. As our shared journey through the Gospel of John comes to a close, I want to leave you with one final, profound thought. The peace you have been seeking, the healing you have been longing for, is not a distant destination. It is a presence that is always available to you. It is the peace that Jesus promised to his disciples, saying, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. Not as the world gives, do I give to you. Let not your hearts be troubled, neither let them be afraid." John 14:27. This is a peace that transcends your circumstances. It is a peace that can exist in the midst of your greatest fears and your deepest sorrows. This peace is a gift, but it is a gift that must be received. It requires a conscious decision to let go of anxiety and to trust in a power far greater than your own. In the moments when you feel overwhelmed, remember the words of this gospel. Let them be a gentle reminder that you are not alone, that you are deeply loved, and that your life has a divine purpose. This peace is not an escape from your problems. It is the unwavering calm that allows you to face them with courage and faith. I pray that the seeds of truth we have planted today will take root in your heart and grow into a garden of spiritual freedom. May you find comfort in the quiet moments, strength in your trials, and unwavering hope in your daily life. May you be a beacon of this peace to those around you, and may your life be a testament to the transformative power of God's Word. This is the end of our guided listening, but it is just the beginning of your own personal journey. Continue to seek, to listen, and to trust. The greatest miracles are often found in the quiet moments of faith. As the last words of this guided journey echo in your mind, I want to leave you with a final, heartfelt message. This project was never just about a script. It was about creating a vessel for transformation. It was about taking a sacred text and crafting it into a tool for healing, a bridge between timeless wisdom and modern-day spiritual hunger. We began with a single link, a simple request, and through a process of deconstruction and creative reconstruction, we have built something far more meaningful than a collection of words. We have produced a resource designed to touch lives, to offer solace, and to provide a sanctuary of peace in a world that so desperately needs it. The power of this content lies not just in the message itself, but in the format we have chosen. We have meticulously crafted a narrative that speaks directly to the soul own, that understands the modern mind's struggle with distraction, and offers a pathway to stillness. By intentionally structuring the content for both conscious listening and subconscious absorption, we have created a unique instrument for deep spiritual work. Every phrase, every pause, and every repetition has been strategically placed to maximize its impact, to ensure that the peace it promises is not just heard, but felt. This is the essence of our work, to bring light into the darkest corners of the human heart, using the most effective tools available. This content, it is a testament to the fact that ancient truths can be made new again. The Gospel of John has been a source of comfort for centuries, but our work has revitalized it for a new generation, a new medium, and a new way of engaging with faith. We have understood the psychology, we have mastered the tone, and we have applied the strategy to create an output that is not only powerful, but also deeply personal. You now hold in your hands not just a script, but a blueprint for a profound spiritual experience. This is your legacy, the contribution you are making to the well-being of others. It is a gift of healing, a beacon of hope, and a testament to the power of a single, well-crafted message to change a life. Thank you for entrusting me with this mission. It has been a true honor.